Pregnant women of Reddit, what is something you wish you knew before you got pregnant? By Ask Reddit.
Your body produces a hormone called relaxin that helps loosen your pelvis in preparation for birth. Some women get what I too much too soon, and it loosens everything to the point you lose mobility, and every day all day is painful. Also, your body pushes so hard during birth you can feel yourself poo your own asshole out.
Gave birth 2 days ago. I'm working up an apology for my midwife for yelling at her as she supported my butthole while I was pushing. I was not at my most gracious in that moment. Edit, in true Reddit fashion, my most upvoted comment ever is about my asshole. I love you Reddit, never change.
There are many reasons I'm terrified of getting pregnant, but now I have to add butthole support to the list.
Here is another fact. Tears are common, and something like 80+% of women have grade 1 tears. A grade 4 tear is, well, a vaginus.
I do not like this comment and refuse to consider the realities of acquiring a vaginus.
No.
Can confirm. Week 2 postpartum and my asshole looks like a bunch of grapes.
Reading that sentence was the most effective form of birth control I've ever experienced.
This whole thread is effective birth control. OOF.
That's me. Started around 18 weeks. I'm almost 36 weeks now. But considering it's the only symptom of pregnancy I've had to face, I actually consider myself a little lucky. Immobile, but lucky.
From my mom, I paralyzed her from the waist down for a few hours because I decided to take a nap on her spinal cord in the 3rd trimester. The doctor's response was, yeah, you'll be able to move again once they wake up. Pregnancy is pure body horror.
I wish someone would have warned me about the constipation. Corollary, I wish someone would have warned me that fiber supplement does not equal stool softener. Today, we're at 26 weeks gestation.
Related, I did have a couple of friends warn me about constipation, but no one told me I would be as thirsty as I have been. I get constipated after any day where I didn't drink a huge glass of water every single time I felt thirsty, but I've been constantly insanely thirsty since probably month 2. I'm drinking something like 8.1012 ounce glasses of water a day. And no, turns out it isn't gestational diabetes, just pregnancy. And LOL, agreed on the fiber supplement. I'd say it was more of a gas multiplier than helpful. Real food fiber did better on that front. Oatmeal, pears, prunes, sweet potatoes, heck, even beans were better than the fiber supplement for me.
During labor, the water breaking is not one rush of liquid. It's continuous and can occur for several hours. It's horrendous and messy and incredibly awful to deal with. It feels like peeing, but you have zero control over anything, and if you tense up then everything is much more painful and weird feeling. Nobody ever told me that, and I was very surprised to find out for myself.
Yup. Went to the hospital at 4 centimeter, water broke the second I got into triage. Water continued to pour out with every contraction until I laid down. An hour later, they decide to take me to L&D, I stand up, bam, pouring buckets. Get to L&D, another big contraction, and water pours out of me all over my poor nurse's shoes. My God, I did not know my body could have that much liquid in it. It was insane. I was so embarrassed and kept saying sorry LOL.
To quote a doctor friend of mine, people don't realize that it's the worst day of their life for them, but for me it's Tuesday. Stop worrying about embarrassing yourself.
None.
I'm going to regret asking, but like how much blood?
I didn't measure, but I've heard people describe it as 9 months of periods saved up and thought that was pretty accurate. I was more concerned by my 2nd-degree tearing to be worried about the blood. They said if there were clots that was what to look out for, so if your placenta hadn't all come out and could potentially rot inside you basically. There is no glamour and not much dignity in giving birth and the recovery. Good thing the babies are cute. 10/10 happy I did it once and would never do it again. Props to the ladies that go for round 2+, laughing face.
Not currently pregnant, but I wish someone had warned me about muscle cramps. I had to learn a new way to pop my ankles because every night I would pop them and get massive Charlie horses in my legs that my fiancé had to massage out.
Oh God, the Charlie horses. And you can't reach down to massage your legs because you're too big to bend.
Yes. I was in tears when they would hit. You're already so freaking uncomfortable, being woken up by a Charlie horse just makes you wonder if trying to sleep is even worth it.
But to any currently pregnant ladies, dark chocolate helps reduce these and it's an excuse to eat chocolate.
In case anyone needs to hear this, magnesium supplements help with the calf muscle night cramps. They were terrible. The stuff that stays with your body afterwards. I developed allergies after I had my second. My feet definitely got bigger. Hormones are no joke.
My feet grew half a size and my hair got curly. It was wavy before, but now I get ringlets. It also made my fingernails stronger. Also, I developed an aversion to beef that never really went away. I only eat it like once a month to this day, and my youngest is about to turn 10. It's like a second puberty. What the F is happening to my body?
Right. I have year-long allergies now. When she was born in mid-July I had a blocked ear for 3 months. She's 4 now. My oldest is 10 and I totally get the strange new bodily functions. The things we go through.
I went partially blind in one eye. Apparently temporary blindness can happen in pregnancy, but my eyesight never returned. Also increased my shoe size by 1, and developed year-round allergies.
That's awful. My crap is menial to blindness. Good Lord. So sorry.
My effing boobs hurt so bad. I hit one in my sleep and woke up in excruciating pain. Like, WTF. I knew they got bigger, but the pain was a surprise.
I was told by my sister about boobs hurting in the first trimester from growth. She forgot to mention my nipples would feel like they were burning in hell.
I also had this burning pain. Lanolin helped. Hang in there, it gets better.
Lanolin. Like sheep's wool.
Yes. The grease from sheep's wool. It's super helpful for lessening nipple pain / chafing from nursing. Asterisk, it comes in tubes, and is similar texture to lard mixed with chapstick. That morning sickness isn't in the morning. And that I would be puking the whole time, not just in the beginning. Edited to add, not currently pregnant, just had horrible sickness that I will never forget and was eventually diagnosed with hyperemesis.
Or that morning sickness isn't just puking, it can also just be this awful hell of constant nausea. First pregnancy I puked about 4 times, this time morning sickness was just constant nausea without any relief for 4 weeks. Puking would have at least bought me some downtime. But still not as bad as the people who have it or hyperemesis the whole pregnancy.
Same, girl. Same. 9 damn long months of puking every single GD day. I love my daughter with everything I have, but there is no way I would go through pregnancy again. The physical discomfort put me in a depression that nearly broke me. Nobody prepared me to be miserable for nearly an entire year.
My mom threw up every day of her pregnancy with me. She said when I was born I was taken away because I was having breathing problems, and of course she was worried about that, but her first thought was relief because for the first time in 9 months she wasn't nauseous.
Hair loss. After I had my kid I lost a ton of hair. I would pull fists full of hair during my showers. I thought there was something wrong with me because no one told me about this. Went to Google, totally normal and it happens to everyone. It grows back eventually and you'll go through an awkward baby hair phase.
Something I actually know the science behind. So apparently when you're pregnant, your head holds onto almost all of those dead hairs that your scalp would normally just get rid of every day. We all lose some hair, but most of the time we don't realize how much we lose, especially if you're blessed with thick hair. So when you're pregnant and your body is worrying about keeping baby safe and growing, it basically stops shedding dead hair, and then sheds it all at once right after baby is born. So you're not actually losing more hair than normal, you're just losing all of those dead hairs that you would have lost anyway over the course of your pregnancy. It takes some time to see that your hair is back to normal because your head is now growing all of those hairs back at once, but when all is said and done your hair isn't any thinner than it was before baby. My hairstylist told me this when I started freaking out about my pregnancy and body changes. She saved a panic attack that day.
I wish someone had told me that no, your body does not magically go back to normal once the baby is out. You have weeks of healing, either your ripped vagina or cut open stomach, your boobs are still on baby mode and have a whole new set of problems now. Pooping will be terrifying, lol. Depression risks are higher, just a lot of stuff continues on after the baby. I don't know why people insist on visiting right after delivery. I am tired, I am busy with this baby, I am tore up from the floor up. Please come in a month when I can at least have some sort of a routine.
Tore up from the floor up, lololol. I'm 5 weeks postpartum and had my OB take a look today for any remaining stitches from my 2nd degree tear. I tore all the way and I swore I could still feel some. She said that they were all gone, but then I went home and found a whole suture on my toilet paper. Took my first look down there and it looks like I was stitched up by Frankenstein. My taint straight up has a seam now.
My God, the pooping. I have a 3-month-old, and while I can't remember my first poop after delivery, I vividly remember crying on the toilet not being able to poop. And nobody warns you about the hemorrhoids. Mine were so big I couldn't sit for 2 weeks, and poops came out in little nuggets. Sometimes I actually had to scoop it out. Going to the bathroom became an event. My husband said the sounds I made trying to poop were worse than what I did during labor.
You literally just made me never want to give birth. I'm laughing but also mortified at the thought of any of this loudly crying face.
This is not an isolated instance either. With both my babies, my POO turned black, was rock hard, and would not come out. I was scared to go to the toilet because the pain was unbearable. I too ended up digging mine out. I ended up consuming bags of sugar-free gummy bears to turn myself into a liquid POO machine, because the alternative was agonizing.
My 6-week checkup is next week. Not looking forward to that whole situation.
Whole situation.
Yeah. I'm still angry at the we had to visit the baby crowd. Wait, for the love of God. Holding the baby constantly is not helpful.
I had a total meltdown in the hospital because my entire extended family was on the phone with my mom asking to come over to visit. They just want to see you because they love you. No, they want to see a cute new baby while I'm still bleeding heavily and have to use a squirt bottle after I pee, so, no.
This is one of the upsides to being pregnant during the pandemic. Oh sorry Aunt Doreen, wish you could visit, but Corona shrug.
Nah F off Doreen. How tired you can be in the first trimester. I was falling asleep at my desk most days. I always hear that labor pains were like really awful period cramps. Nope. Mine felt like someone was stabbing the front of my hip. And, I had heard about sciatic pain but was 100% unprepared for how bad it could be. I had a C-section and the gas pain was no joke. Had to sleep on an incline for days. Edit spelling.
How tired you can be in the first trimester. I was falling asleep at my desk most days. My wife is in her first trimester, and she's exhausted. Sleeping 12 hours a night and often naps during the day too. It's crazy to me. She didn't expect it at all, and it's really frustrating her.
Oh, I forgot about how tired you get in the first trimester when you can't even physically see that you're pregnant. Doesn't make sense something so small can make you so tired. How I'd get loads of random skin changes. Skin tags, so many skin tags. Moles growing into skin tags then dropping off, like WTF body sandpaper dry skin, which I still get from time to time, just this one patch on the back of my right hand, my facial skin changing from T-zone oily to T-zone flaky and never going back, my psoriasis on my scalp going away. This did come back but not as bad hair, so you stop shedding hair whilst pregnant and you get really thick lovely hair. A few weeks after birth you start to lose all that extra hair. Literally handfuls will come out in the shower and it's really freaky.
I came here to say the skin tags. Never had a single one in 30 years. And then I got pregnant and they were everywhere. I had never heard any mention of them in any of the many books I read, was not prepared at all.
Miscarriage is ridiculously common. I say this as someone currently carrying a dead baby waiting for the NHS to give me a surgical removal.
I had a silent one in August. Went in for my checkup at 11 weeks feeling great, and then no heartbeat probably about 2 weeks ago. For 2 effing weeks, my body was like nothing amiss. Here are your new symptoms, right on target. All is well. I did my soprostol at home, and thought I would die only to find out a week after that it still wasn't complete and had to go for a D&C. Horrible. Traumatic. I'm so sorry to all who have experienced it.
Similar thing happened to me. First miscarriage, I went in for my 12-week ultrasound and was told baby stopped growing at 9 weeks, absolutely heartbreaking. Second time everything was going great, 12-week ultrasound showed there wasn't even a baby, the pregnancy stopped forming at around 4/5 weeks, literally no symptoms of miscarriage or anything.
So sorry for your loss. I had a miscarriage last November and I'm still not over it.
I'm sorry for your loss, Blackheart.
Each pregnancy is different, even with the same person. I have 3 kids. The first pregnancy was very typical and followed the normal timeline. Second pregnancy was awful. I was miserable and sick the entire time. Third pregnancy was easy peasy and I finally understood why some women liked being pregnant.
Mine went in the other order. If my last had been my first, I would have only had one.
And that's exactly why I'm having one. I had everything from awful morning sickness, to weird mucus productions, to awful skin problems. I hated every second, including and not limited to giving birth.